From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Corríamos peligro en Colombia y querían matar a mis hijos.
Desperate to escape to safety with the end of Title 42, tens of thousands of migrants are at the U.S. border in northern Mexico. We went to find out how the Bay Area is gearing up to make sure migrants who do come here have a place to go. Jess.
And Northern California still shaking this morning. A 5.2 quake strikes Plumas County just 12 hours after a 5.5. More on that and your local Bay Area forecast for Mother's Day coming up.
And Jess, teachers in Oakland continue their strike for the 7th day, and there are no signs of it ending anytime soon. Hear what the mayor of Oakland is saying about it coming up.
As a first-time home buyer, I find this place right for me.
And a mass exodus myth, how one South Bay city has managed to buck that trend.
And the Warriors are gearing up to take on the Lakers tonight. It's another do-or-die game for the Dubs. We'll see how they do, and we'll talk about potential injuries coming up. And as we take a look at the roadways right now over at the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza, we are starting to see a bit of a backup as you work your way across the upper deck. I'll tell you why coming right up.
Well, we begin with breaking news this morning. Another moderate earthquake rattled much of Northern California this morning. This one was a 5.2, just about around 3:20 this morning. It struck Plumas County, the same spot as yesterday's 5.5 that hit just before 4 o'clock. Now, it's been followed by a swarm of smaller quakes as well, and the earthquake was centered in the middle of Lake Almanor in Plumas County. But people were actually able to still feel that shaking about 120 miles south in Sacramento and all the way even into Stockton, too. It was so powerful that it actually knocked out 911 dispatch for a while in Chico. Yesterday's initial jolt actually interrupted a Nevada County Planning Commission meeting, and it was all caught on camera. Check this out.
Oh, that hurts. It's an earthquake.
I just want to say I didn't order that.
It took a little while for people to even register that the earth was moving. This county commissioner didn't even flinch when the camera started shaking. Now, we haven't seen any reports of injuries from yesterday's quake or this morning's aftershocks, but the quake did a number on the resort at Lake Almanor. Alcohol bottles were smashed all over the floor and stuff went flying off the shelves and even in the kitchen. I will say this too, researching it a little bit more this morning, the USGS, a couple things I'm going to say actually, the USGS mentioned that there was only about a 6% chance of an earthquake stronger than a 5.5 to happen after yesterday's. And okay, yeah, that's a small chance. However, I don't think we were anticipating on seeing a 5.2, which just was barely below what we felt yesterday up there. Also, a lot of people have resorts up there. A lot of people have vacation homes that they don't necessarily check in often. So I feel as though within the next couple of months, as we head into the summer months, we're actually going to see a lot more damage than originally anticipated. Now, let's take a quick look at what's going on here in the Bay Area. I will also say one more thing about that earthquake, too. It was one of the strongest we've had since 2019. But back here in the Bay Area, 40s and 50s throughout the Bay this morning. It's a chilly start to our Mother's Day weekend, folks. Don't forget to grab the flowers before you head into Sunday's forecast. We're going to be seeing sunny skies, beautiful conditions. You're going to want to be spending time outside with your mothers, not inside in a line trying to buy last-minute flowers, right? I'm right. Now let's take a quick look all the way up into San Rafael. 48 degrees this morning, 52 in San Francisco. Let's head down to San Jose real fast, where daytime highs this afternoon are actually going to hit the upper 70s. It's mild and it is beautiful for us today. Even a little bit warm, we can say, especially off in our East Inland areas and up into the wine country area, too. As for San Francisco, partly cloudy skies right now. These cloudy skies are actually going to clear up as we head into the afternoon with sunny conditions and upper 60s in the forecast. By tomorrow, folks, we're going to be warming up about 15 to 20 degrees above average off in our East Inland areas, about 10 degrees above average in San Francisco. I'm going to have more on why that's happening and how long that's expected to last coming up in your first alert forecast. But for now, Gianna, any trouble spots out there on the roads?
You know, it's Friday, which is great news, Jess, which means things are pretty easy for the most part. I will say this, though, we are seeing just a slight delay. You can see that here in our live shot. We'll take it full in just a second. There it goes. And just slow coming off that East Shore Freeway connector over into the Bay Bridge. Meter nights are off off. We're not seeing a huge backup across the upper deck, but that's certainly an unexpected side that we typically see those brake lights there. It's usually as you get a little closer to the toll plaza, they're not coming off of 80. So we'll look into that to see if maybe there's a crash or an issue. But overall, it is Friday light. Look at all this green on our maps. Green is good. When I show you this, that means your commute looks really good this morning. 880 all clear, 101 an easy ride. So if you've got an early flight to catch at SFO, you are moving along just fine.
All right, Gianna, thank you so much. Let's now take a live look down at Yuma, Arizona. The pandemic-era immigration policy known as Title 42, that expired at midnight, so just a few hours ago. And it allowed the U.S. to turn away people at the border without an asylum hearing. Now, during this transition, Homeland Security and immigration officials are bracing for rising numbers of migrants along our southern border. And Title 42, so it's done now. And now with Title 8 in place, there are new changes for immigration policy. Some of these migrants could eventually end up in parts of the Bay Area, so local relief groups are doing everything they can to prepare. Jose Martinez has the story of one woman who is herself an immigrant and is now on the other side.
San Jose is preparing to receive an influx of immigrant families. Gina Guevara, a Venezuelan immigrant who moved to the U.S. in 2017, is one of the leaders who will welcome these families to the Bay Area. Gina says she identifies 100% with all these families who are immigrating, seeking a better life, opportunities and security, many things they do not have in their countries. Gina is a member of Amigos de Guadalupe, an organization in East San Jose that has already been helping an increasing number of new arrivals. Other community leaders from Santa Clara County and the city of San Jose, like Sulman Maciel, director of the city's Office of Racial Equity, echoed this message.
The city of San Jose is currently planning a welcoming migrant response plan that, if needed, will activate various departments in the city organization to ensure that our response is welcoming and inclusive and humane to people who are seeking asylum in the U.S.
The city didn't specify details about the plan, but confirmed that it will follow the work of organizations like Amigos de Guadalupe. The group says they are currently helping 2 to 3 new families each day. They expect that number could go as high as 10 new families.
We have been working to stabilize families, get them temporary shelter, use some limited resources that we do have to get, temporary hotel stays, get food and water and medical enrollment coverage, getting the families, the children enrolled into school, and other type of resources to get families stabilized.
And Jeremy tells me that we will be able to see the real impact of this change, not now, but within the next 2 weeks. He emphasizes the importance of this help right now to avoid situations where these migrants would have to camp in parks or on the streets.
Well, now that Title 42 is done, we are seeing that first wave of lawsuits and a big setback for the White House. A federal judge has temporarily blocked the Biden administration's policy to release migrants more quickly when Border Patrol stations are full. So that's just one factor, adding to all the growing confusion at the border, especially with this transition that we have. And Jocelyn, it's really the number of people that we have there.
Yeah, and really, Amanda, at the center of all of this, there are people who say they have left their country for a number of reasons and are trying to find safety now here in the U.S. The Border Patrol chief told CBS News yesterday that an estimated 60,000 migrants were waiting near the U.S.-Mexico border. Closer to us here in the Bay Area is the San Diego-Tijuana border. Many migrants spent the day waiting in between the 2 border fences separating the U.S. and Mexico near San Diego. Those coming here are hoping to apply for asylum and get into the U.S. This father here, Jason from Colombia, says he came with 9 family members, including young children.
We came here for the security of our children and their health. We are fleeing from somewhere very dangerous.
Volunteers are right there offering humanitarian aid, packing clothes and food and pushing it through the fence. Many migrants here are cold and exhausted from their journey to get there. You're seeing people from across the globe, Central America, South America, Asia, and Africa. The Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz says they are over capacity in several of their holding facilities. Now, under a rule implemented, migrants who cross the southern border without permission will be ineligible for asylum if they did not ask for protection in another country like Mexico on their way to the U.S. Those caught crossing illegally face a 5-year ban from the U.S. and possible criminal charges. Now, we spoke with an immigration law specialist at USF, Professor Bilong Hing, about what the state could possibly see.
Well, California can expect to be seeing thousands of individuals over the next several months who are going to be permitted to come in to apply for asylum. Every day there's going to be about 1,000 lucky people who are picked from a cell phone app lottery to be admitted across the southern border.
And he points out that a few hundred could be headed for California, including here in Northern California. That app he mentioned, by the way, he says is a technology problem for some people at the border. In our next half hour, we're going to be checking in with CBS correspondent Jared Hill, live from El Paso, Texas. Justin.
Yeah, he is live on the ground. Thanks so much, Jocelyn. Well, talks continued overnight between Oakland teachers and the district, but still no agreement was reached, meaning teachers will begin day 7 on the picket lines. This strike nears the second week, and Oakland's Mayor Sheng Tao says she wants the strike settled. Chants echoed and signs were raised high through the streets of Oakland as teachers rallied outside Glenview Elementary yesterday. It was a big turnout with thousands of teachers and community members. It's still unclear when the strike will end, but we spoke with the co-chair member of the bargaining team who told us things are moving.
It's been a process to get this level of attention to the fight, but now that we have this level of attention, we have seen some movement from the district.
So right now there's no word yet on if the school year will be extended to make up for these days missed during the strike. Mayor Sheng Tao, though, would like to see the strike end. She says children can't be forgotten in her shared goal of One Oakland. Mayor Tao says children, quote, deserve to be in classrooms getting quality education in a safe, equitable, and joyful environment. For the latest update on the teacher strike in Oakland, head to our website, KPIX.com.
All right, you ready for it? It's game time, and we're talking Warriors as we get ready for tonight's game against the Lakers. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, all of it's crossed. It's another do or die, though.
Yeah, we got our breathing exercise going right now. Another must-win situation for the Dubs. Yes. I'm anticipating some anxious moments, though, G. But remember, the team is confident in their ability to win tonight and force a Game 7 here at home.
But here's what's a little bit concerning, Jocelyn. We want to show you this. Andrew Wiggins has been listed as questionable for tonight's game. You can see this moment right here where Wiggins is boxing out LeBron, which is about 5 minutes left in the game. And unfortunately, that may have been when he sustained that injury, because you can see just at the end there, he was kind of holding on to his side. That's concerning. That makes me a little bit nervous going into tonight's game.
Yeah, especially after his performance when it came to Game 5. We talked about that just yesterday, the kind of game he had in that game. Big part of why the Warriors won. He had 25 points. So, of course, we are going to have to see what other reports come out today when it comes to Andrew Wiggins. As far as the Lakers, there is some good news with Anthony Davis. He is not in concussion protocol, and he is expected to play after taking a hit to the head. Obviously, it was scary to see, with some viewers watching that, just because he left the game, did not come back here, and you could definitely tell that he was shaken up by that. So good news for the Lakers there that he could potentially play tonight. For Andrew Wiggins, though, that's where the concern comes in, because we saw the impact he had in that last game, G.
And I'm hoping the Warriors are going to have everything they have to their disposal at this point, because they need the help. And if Andrew Wiggins isn't going to be available, that's where Klay Thompson's going to have a really good game. And Jordan Poole's going to have to step up a little bit. So.
Yeah, and we know the Warriors are capable of
We've
having
seen them do it
other guys
times.
step up when other guys are not able to be in the lineup there.
For sure.